India is gearing up to host the G20 meeting this weekend as part of its year-long presidency of the forum. The finishing touches are being added, security has been ramped up, and areas are being spruced up in preparation for many of the world's leaders arriving in New Delhi for the talks. Schools, colleges, offices and malls are closed in the national capital for 3 days because of the event. Countries including the US, India, China, the UK, Germany and Australia are part of the bloc. Its objectives include policy coordination to achieve economic stability. Climate finance, food security and development are some of the key issues on the agenda. But the talks come amid geopolitical tensions. Countries that are part of the bloc have differing stances over the war in Ukraine. And Chinese President Xi Jinping is skipping the summit, sending his premier instead. This comes as relations between China and the US are strained, and India and China remain on frosty terms, especially following a recent controversy with New Delhi complaining to Beijing over a map which it said laid claim to its territory. Analysts say disagreements have also resurfaced over issues including phasing out fossil fuels. Differences and tensions between G20 countries have prompted questions about how much will be achieved at the summit and if countries will be able to agree on a joint declaration.
There are many issues that need to be sorted out with global cooperation. I mean, unilaterally you can't do them, like things like climate change or decarbonization that I think that will take place. I think all that requires consensus building. And so the success of G20 will depend on how quickly we are able to resolve our issues and come to a consensus on how to address these critical issues which have a bearing on our future.
US President Biden plans to focus on reforming the World Bank and persuading other multilateral development banks to boost lending for climate change and infrastructure. There had been some uncertainty over his attendance after his wife tested positive for COVID earlier this week, but Mr. Biden has tested negative. There's another debate taking place in the background as India used the Hindi word Bharat instead of India on the dinner invitation sent to dignitaries by the president, which the opposition has objected to. And these are issues that seem to be taking some attention away from the critical matters that are up for discussion at the G20 summit. Rebecca Bundhun, CNA, New Delhi.